Welcome to the Bacolod City Labor Partnership podcast. We are diving deep into something we've had a lot of requests for lately, um, thinking about Bacolod City as a place to maybe move to, especially for expats and retirees.
Yeah, a lot of folks seem interested in Bacolod these days. It's exciting. We've got some really interesting stuff to look at today, too. Like, we've got stories from expats, people who've actually already made the move, and some solid numbers on what things cost over there. And even like it's a travel journal kind of thing. That really makes Bacolod sound pretty charming.
So, okay, imagine you're seriously thinking about this, right? Like moving to Bacolod. I bet the first thing you want to know is what it's actually like to live there.
Right.
Make sense? So, well, they call Bacolod the City of Smiles. And from what we're hearing from expats, that nickname, that fits.
Oh, yeah. They keep talking about how friendly and welcoming the people are. I mean, like, one person in this article, retire in Bacolod City, Philippines, they said it really well. They said, life for a retire in Bacolod City can be quite enjoyable and fulfilling. The city is known for its friendly locals, delicious food, and a relaxed pace of life, making it an ideal place for retirement.
Sounds pretty nice, right? And it looks like you kind of get the best of both worlds in Bacolod.
Hmm.
You've got a busy city center with, well, with everything you'd expect. But then you're also like right near all this amazing nature. Beaches, mountains, you name it.
Oh, totally. That What is Life Like in Bacolod City article from Expat Exchange, that really gets that across. Imagine this. You start your day hiking through the mountains, right? Super lush, beautiful. Then you head back to the city, grab some awesome food, do some shopping, and before you know it, you're on the beach watching the sunset with a nice drink in your hand.
Now let's get down to business. Cost of living. This is the thing everyone thinks about, especially if you're moving.
Hmm.
And, well, the data we found on Numbeo, it's pretty wild.
It is. Like the overall cost of living in Bacolod, it's, get this, 55.6% lower than in the US, and rent 82.9% lower. I mean, that changes everything when it comes to how long your money lasts, especially retirement savings.
I mean, for people on a fixed income, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
What are some, like, specific examples? How do those savings play out in real life?
Okay, so let's say you want to go out to eat, right? Nice local restaurant. You're looking at about 220 Philippine pesos. That's like $4. Or how about a beer after work? Domestic beer's around 75 pesos, like $1.50 when you think about it like that.
It's amazing. And the expats we read about, they back that up. They say their money really goes a long way in Bacolod.
Totally.
Of course, another big thing, especially for retirees, is healthcare. And from what we read, it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, I see what you mean. A lot of people say the healthcare facilities are good, high quality. But they also say be careful. It might not be exactly the same standards as in the West.
So if you're thinking of moving to Bacolod, what do you need to know about healthcare there?
Okay, so in that, what are healthcare services like in Bacolod City section? They talk about public and private healthcare. Public healthcare is there, but private facilities, they might have shorter wait times and more of that personal touch. Of course, private's going to cost more too. So it's really about thinking about what kind of care you might need and figuring that into your budget.
Makes sense. Sounds like having good health insurance is a must.
Oh, definitely. A lot of the expats in this, what do I need to know before retiring in Bacolod City article, they're all about that. They say it gives you that peace of mind knowing you can get good care if you need it.
That's a good point. Before we move on to like the cultural stuff about Bacolod, just a quick reminder that we're here to help. The Bacolod City Labor Partnership, we've got all sorts of resources and information to help you figure things out. So check out our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. We'll put links in the show notes.
Yeah, always happy to help anyone who's thinking about making Bacolod home.
Now let's talk about what makes Bacolod special, like the culture and all that. One thing that really jumped out at me was the Mascara Festival. It's mentioned everywhere, and it sounds amazing.
Oh, yeah, the Mascara Festival. It's like this explosion of color and music and like pure joy. The streets are packed with dancers and these crazy costumes, parades, and everyone's just like so happy. You can't help but get caught up in it.
Yeah.
It's like this amazing mix of celebration and you really get to see that famous Filipino hospitality firsthand. It shows how resilient and spirited the city is.
It sounds incredible. And speaking of history and culture, our travel journal, it talks about this really interesting historical site in Bacolod, the ruins. Have you heard of it?
Oh, yeah, the ruins they're amazing.
Yeah.
So they're what's left of this, like, mansion, right? this wealthy sugar baron built it for his wife, like as this grand gesture of love. It's partially destroyed now, but it's still so powerful. Like the
Ah,
symbol of love that lasts and a reminder of Bacolod's history. Imagine walking through these ruins, feeling all that history and romance all around you.
wow. I'd love to see that someday. Seems like Bacolod has this perfect mix of history, culture, and modern life, all in one place.
You got it. And don't forget the food. Bacolod is famous for its food, especially something called chicken and hazel. It's a local thing. You got to try it. I'm sure we'll talk more about food later.
Oh, I'm all about trying new foods when I travel. But before we get sidetracked, let's talk about the pace of life in Bacolod. It sounds like things are a bit slower there compared to, the fast pace in a lot of Western countries. So
Yeah.
how do expats adjust to that?
That's a great question. A lot of them, they love it. They find that slower pace super relaxing. Like it lets them really enjoy the simple things and connect with the community more. But it definitely takes some adjusting, especially if you're coming from like a high pressure lifestyle. It's about changing your mindset, adapting to a different rhythm.
Right, it's about finding a pace that works for you. Now let's talk about something else that's important when you move somewhere new. Finding your people, your community. Bacolod seems to have a really active expat community, which can be really helpful for newcomers. What can you tell us about that?
You're right. That Retire and Brockle in Bacolod City, Philippines article, it talks about that. And the How Do I Meet People in Bacolod City section, that's got even more detail. They have tons of clubs and activities just for expats. Sports, language exchange, cultural stuff, volunteering, you name it. Imagine you join a hiking club and go explore those beautiful mountains we talked about, all while making new friends who like the same things you do. It's a great way to become a part of the community and build relationships.
That's awesome. What about digital nomads? It seems like Bacolod's getting popular with people who work remotely too. What's the draw?
Well, for one thing, they've got reliable internet, which is, crucial for remote work. They've got co-working spaces too, and even networking events just for digital nomads. Plus, that super affordable cost of living, it means you can like really stretch your budget while still having a great quality of life. Imagine working from a cool cafe in the morning, then spending the afternoon exploring the city or just chilling on the beach. That's the dream for a lot of digital nomads, right?
It does sound like Bacolod has a lot to offer no matter what you're looking for,
Yeah.
whether it's retiring, working remotely, or just trying something new. But, we got to be realistic too. No place is perfect, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's good to have realistic expectations going in. Some of the things we read, they mentioned a few downsides, like power outages can happen sometimes and traffic can be tough. Just things to keep in mind, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Those are definitely things to consider. What about the language? I mean, it would be good to learn some basic Filipino, but how hard is it for expats who don't speak the language?
Well, a lot of people speak English, especially in businesses and tourist areas. But learning even a little Filipino, a few phrases, it can really make a difference. It shows respect for the culture, and it can make things easier, like everyday conversations, and it can help you connect with locals better.
Right? It's about being mindful and showing that you respect the culture. Actually, that seems to be something that comes up a lot in what the expats had to say, like being culturally sensitive.
Oh, totally. This part here, what advice do overseas retirees have for others considering retiring abroad? It really stresses that, like doing your homework on local customs and traditions. One retiree even said, actually, I'll just read it. They suggest learning about the local culture and customs to better integrate into the community. It's not just about the practical stuff, it's about like appreciating and respecting how things are done in the Philippines.
That's so important. It's about embracing the culture, not just trying to recreate your old life in a new place. Okay, let's talk practicalities. Visas. That's got to be a big deal when you're moving to the Philippines, got it?
Definitely. For retirees, there's this thing called the Special Resident Retirees Visa, SRRV, they call it. In the What Do I Need to Know Before Retiring in Bacolod City section, they list some of the requirements, like how much money you need to deposit and age limits and stuff.
So it's not as easy as just hopping on a plane. There's paperwork and planning involved.
Exactly. Doing your research is super important to make sure everything goes smoothly.
And that's where the Bacolod City Labor Partnership can help, right?
Absolutely. We're here to help with all of it. Visas, finding a place to live, understanding the culture, even jobs, whatever you need.
That's amazing. So anyone listening, if this is all sounding a bit overwhelming, don't worry. There's help out there. You can connect with us. the Bacolod City Labor Partnership, on our YouTube channel or Facebook page. We'll be happy to answer questions and support you every step of the way. We'll put the links in the show notes.
Yeah, we're always here to help. Okay, so let's switch gears for a second. Let's talk about what really makes Bacolod special. The people. I mean, their warmth and hospitality, it just shines through in everything we read.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like Filipinos are genuinely warm, like more than just being polite, you know.
It's part of who they are. Like, Filipinos are known for their smiles, being welcoming, and they're always willing to help, even if you don't speak the language.
One expat even said it's like being part of a huge family.
Mm.
Like that feeling of community and connection, it's something a lot of people want, especially when they move to a new country where they don't know anyone.
Exactly. People look out for each other, they support each other, they celebrate together. It's like a nice change from how individualistic things can be in other parts of the world.
And that sense of belonging, it must be so comforting for expats
Mm.
who are starting over in Bacolod. It's more than just having a place to live. It's about feeling truly welcome and accepted.
You nailed it. It's about those real connections, that feeling of truly belonging.
It seems like family and traditions are really important in Filipino culture too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Family is everything in the Philippines. It's common to see like multiple generations living together, and family gatherings are big and full of laughter and joy. A lot of expats, they find that really heartwarming and inspiring.
There's something beautiful about that close family bond. It reminds you what really matters, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that bring people together, we got to talk about the food.
Filipino food. It's this amazing mix of flavors and influences, you know. It reflects the country's history and all the different cultures that have been there. There's something for everyone, from savory dishes like adobo and sinigang to sweet stuff like halo halo and leche flan.
And of course, the chicken and hazel. That's Bacolod's specialty, right? It's mentioned everywhere. So what is it exactly, and why is it so popular?
Okay, so chicken and hazel. It's a must-try in Bacolod. It's grilled chicken, marinated in this special mix of citrus juices, vinegar, lemongrass, and other spices. Then they cook it over coals so it gets that smoky flavor and crispy skin. And it's usually served with rice, a dipping sauce with vinegar, soy sauce, and calamansi, and some chicken oil on the side for extra flavor.
Man, that sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting that on my list for when I visit Bacolod.
You won't regret it. And the best way to experience Filipino food is to share a meal with locals. It's a chance to like really connect with the culture, enjoy the flavors, and feel that Filipino hospitality.
That sounds amazing. It seems like Bacolod offers this unique opportunity to really experience a different culture while still having all the comforts of modern life.
You got it. The charm and traditions of Filipino culture mixed with all the conveniences you're used to.
So if someone's seriously thinking about moving to Bacolod, what advice would you give them based on everything we've learned?
The most important thing is to do your homework. Like, really research the cost of living, healthcare, visas, and the cultural stuff, you know? Don't just rely on the internet. Talk to people who've actually lived there. Their experiences and insights are invaluable.
That's a great point. And don't hesitate to reach out to resources like the Bacolod City Labor Partnership, right?
Yeah.
We're here to help you figure things out and make smart choices that fit your lifestyle, your values, and what you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. Moving to a new country, it's a big decision, so you got to approach it carefully and realistically. But if you're looking for a place where people welcome you with open arms, a culture that's rich in tradition and warmth, and a lifestyle that puts family and connection first, then Bacolod might be the perfect place.
It definitely sounds worth checking out. It really does. Like a hidden gem, almost. Wow. So wrapping up our deep dive into Bacolod City, I'm kind of ready to book a flight already.
Haha, I feel ya. We've covered a lot, right?
Yeah.
From like the nitty-gritty stuff like cost of living and visas to like the heart of it all, the people and the culture. But, you know, nothing beats actually being there, feeling that Bacolod sunshine, seeing those smiles in person.
It's true. Just reading these stories is like I can almost taste that chicken and hazel, hear the music from Mascara Festival.
Totally. And hey, don't forget the Bacolod City Labor Partnership. We're here to help you through it all. Got questions about jobs, housing, or just want to connect with other expats? Reach out.
All right. We've got tons of resources on our YouTube channel and Facebook page. Check them out. Links are in the show notes.
We're always happy to answer any questions, help you see what's possible in, what do they call it? The City of Smiles.
Okay, so as we wrap things up, one last thing to think about. What about Bacolod's lifestyle really speaks to you?
Good question.
Is it that your money goes further?
Yeah.
You know, being able to stretch your retirement savings? Or is it that everyone's so welcoming? Like you belong there right away.
Maybe it's the culture, right? All those festivals, the food, or maybe it's that slower pace of life, like being able to just enjoy each day and connect with what's important.
Whatever it is that draws you to Bacolod, keep digging, See if this city could be your new home.
Great advice.
Thanks for listening to the Bacolod City Labor Partnership Podcast. We hope this deep dive into Bacolod City was helpful and got you thinking.
And for more info and resources, check us out on YouTube or Facebook. We're here to help.
Until next time, mabuhay.